I'm undercover. Hey guys, it's been a while. It's been around maybe 5 months since I've last posted a video. And to be honest, a lot has changed. And in this video, I sort of want to talk about why I stopped, the fact that I'm going to start up again soon, and sort of what to expect from this channel. Before we started, ta-da! I shaved my head now. I might do a whole video on that. Basically, it was a whole spiritual journey. Yeah, this video is sort of meant to be more down to earth, just sort of a talking about what the fuck's been going on, and my own healing journey and how that actually affects the work that I've gone through. So, long story short, I think I stopped doing videos around 4 or 5 months ago because, well, to be honest, the pipe, how do I put this into words? I stopped doing videos around 4 or 5 months ago because I was struggling. I wasn't struggling as a person. A lot of the things in my life were going really well. To be honest, I practice what I preach. So all the stuff that I talk about in these videos, emotional healing, surrender, things like that, to be honest, what actually needed to happen through my own healing journey, I realized I actually needed to take my own medicine. So I needed to really take some time to heal a lot of parts of my life that were left unhealed, that I needed to look at before I was to dive back into what I fondly refer to as my great work. The great work being the emotional work, the healing yourself, healing each other, healing the world. Now, what ended up happening was I had all of these feelings. I really want to be this person who's not only, hi, my name is Sharam Namdarian, dating, relationship coach, life coach, all this kind of coach. But I also really wanted to be the kind of person who honestly walked his talk, but had a lot of the other parts of my life healed. Now, the more I put myself out there, I think there was a period of time where I was just doing like mobile phone videos like, what up, my name is Shaz, and I'm doing the videos. And a lot of you guys loved it when I did a video a day. It became part of your daily routine, or at least some of you. But what ended up happening was my own healing journey needed to really focus around my business, around my coaching, around where I was helping people. For example, when you do a video a day, at least I found it, I started to forget where I was and where my videos started. I remember I was talking to people, I'd be like, oh, here's something that happened in my life that I'm gonna do in a video, and I can't, like, it became this, it wasn't necessarily very healed. And not only what ends up happening is when we have stuff clogging our pipe, and I'll talk more about that in other videos, when we have blockages, what ends up happening is we have to force shit through our blockages. So we have to force, like, we willpower. This is where people talk about willpower online. They're like, what? You got willpower. Willpower only fucking gets you so far. I know this because I've done this. I've become international, world famous Sharam Namdarian, or whatever names I used at the time, dating coach, like fucking twice, right? I've done it twice. And what ends up happening is that I willpowered my way through the other times. Now this year, I decided, it wasn't a decision, it was like something that just clicked inside of me through, I was healing some things, and I was like, I realized I'm trying too fucking hard with my business. I gotta fucking stop. I gotta slow the shit down. I gotta really just appreciate where I'm at, and to start to heal these small things first. You know, the things I say about surrender, the things I say about emotional healing is honestly, like, you can create what it is you want. You know, my mentor sort of referred to it as universal law. It's almost like a bit manifesty, but I like to blend the relationship between psychology and the spiritual together. But it's like, you got to make space for the thing that you want. But my life was just clogged. And I think you could see it. You could see it in my last videos where I'm basically sharing. What happened? I was like, hey guys, I'm doing like a weekend of money meditation. I'm going to meditate for a whole weekend. And then after that, I was like, fuck, if I want money, I need to like work on me first, to sort my shit out before I share more of it. So what did I learn over the past 4 or 5 months? A lot about self-love, a lot about relationships, a lot about letting go, a lot about feeling like I'm okay with what I have, a lot about weight loss, a lot about health. For example, earlier on in this video, I talked about not knowing where I ended and the video started. To be honest, I literally, before I did this, I was doing some surrender. If you don't know what that is, we'll talk about that more in a few videos. Doing some surrender with myself, and realized that, you know what, it's okay if I forget. It's okay if I forget where one starts and the other ends. It's through the forgetting do we remember. So I've been keeping this stuff to myself, right? I've been keeping the ideas around emotional healing and surrender to myself for the past 6 months or 4 or 5 months, rather than sharing it out with the world. Like maybe occasionally, here's an Instagram post, here's whatever. But through that period of time, there was one thing that just kept reiterating with me over and over and over again. It's like, Sharam, you are sitting on a gold mine. Sharam, you are sitting on a motherfucking gold mine. And you've got to appreciate that. You've got to know that the stuff that you're sharing is stuff that people need to hear, people need to feel. And the idea that you got to humble yourself. Well, sometimes you're going to humble yourself, sometimes you're going to know your own fucking value. So that's what that's about. So I realized over the past 4 or 5 months, I keep saying it's like, it gets bigger every time I say it. I realized over the past 20 years, over the last 4 or 5 months, that I do have an incredible gift to give. I've essentially systemized an approach to emotional healing that is ways to get over depression, anxiety, things like that. If you want to, that's the fucking asterisk, because some people don't want to. They get value out of it. But through that thing, to look at surrender, to look at healing and a systemized approach to clear the blockages we have towards relationships. Not only that, to clear the blockages towards health, money, fucking everything, to work harder, to have more energy. You know, I've talked about this in past videos where I would talk about the idea of emotional fatigue versus physical fatigue. It's like so much of us as humans, we are emotionally fatigued so much more than we are physically fatigued. And I have examples which I cannot say because I promised these people that I would not say. They're like, of getting over that. So what do I want? What do I want? Well, I realized that through these channels and through social media and stuff like that, I've always sort of tried really hard to be something. And I know there's someone watching this video who's going to be like, yeah, that's the lesson I'm going through right now. But it's like, there is a difference between doing versus being, and we get those two confused. Like doing good relationships versus being someone who has a good relationship, or doing social media, or being someone who's just social. You know, it's the difference between talking to someone and thinking you've got to, and doing the tactics and all this bullshit in order to make that human connection. There's a difference, and one gets much more deeper, more profound results, and the other one requires a hell of a lot of willpower. I'll talk about why I started shaving my head in maybe a second or whatever. But what ends up happening with me is I want to do more videos. So maybe I'll talk a lot about healing, but I will also do videos on whatever the fuck I want. And I felt like I was jeopardizing my message if I ended up doing videos on other things. Like, oh, I want to do a video about this particular hobby that I like. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna contaminate my message. It's like, nah, fuck that. It's me, it's always me, it's the thing. It's called YouTube, not tube. So I think what's really important to consider moving forward with this channel, if you are a fan, if you are gonna watch these videos, if you follow me on Facebook, because I know some people somehow find me on Facebook. How? Like, I don't, like how? Like, I don't know. Please let me know. But what ends up happening is I want to start putting more content out. And I know through my own healed response to things is that I'm not going to try and jump into it. I'm not going to throw myself into the deep end. I'm not going to try and be like, hey, I got to do a video every day for like a month. That's a challenge, because that's just some ego thing. I trust myself, I trust my process, I trust that what I have is gold, and I also trust that as I do more, be more, live more, as I create more, my blockages will present themselves. And as I surrender to my blockages, as I process those blockages, surrender is the act of healing. You can do it fucking now, start fucking now, not start fucking now, You can if you want to, but start surrendering now, letting yourself not try and change those emotions. There's just so much I want to share. So I always get so fucking worked up because I'm like, there's so much. Long-term goals. I was at a party the other day and just running around like fucking talking to everyone. And I was talking to someone who was a psychiatrist. And they were talking about like some new therapies are actually born outside of the box. Because I thought I was like people who were like learned, who'd studied psychology, studied psychiatry would actually judge someone like me. But truth be told, it's like some new therapies are actually born outside of the box. So long-term goals is to create a, a closed case study where it's like, where it becomes like a medicinal thing, widely used practice. So that's the thing. But basically, that's the whole point of this channel. Anyway, I've been rambling on for a bit. I'll do another video in the future about why I started shaving my head. But if you like it, please let me know. And if you hate it, keep that shit to yourself. No, you can let me know. I always find it really funny because I've had long hair, I've had short hair, now I've got no hair. And I used to be someone who identified with my hair. Like I was like, oh, I'm more attractive if I look like this, or I'm more whatever if I have this thing. It's like fucking bullshit. Through my own healing journey, I've realized attraction is and always will be a fucking energy. And at the end of the day, once that aspect of ourselves is healed, that relieves itself. You know, our physical form will change. It'll change to match how we act, how we feel about ourselves, because we will look at ourselves and it'll be intolerable. It'll be like, Jesus, I feel like I'm a fucking like this and I need to work on this and get it up there. So if there is anything you can take away from this video, it's hi, I'm coming back very slowly, very surely. But at the end of the day, if there's one thing you can take away from here is to just get fucking excited. I need you to help me. I need you to help me blow this shit up. I need you to help me blow me up. Like not with a bomb, but with stardom. Like I've got these goals that, to be honest, for the longest time, I tried so fucking hard and it never got to the level I wanted it to because I willpowered my way through it. Now, last year when I was experimenting with just teaching Surrender online, things like that, I also have clients where I work with relationships and stuff like that, but to work specifically with Surrender Online, I not only got traction with my own work, but also I had other people trying to sell for me. Now, my issue was I felt like I had nothing to sell, or I also felt like people who wanted to work with me, I was charging too much. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out like what exactly it is I'm selling, only to heal it and to realize I don't need to fully know. I have products already. I have coaching programs already. I'm fucking good at this and I need to let that out. Let that out. That's all it is. It's a letting out process. It is not a creating, or it is creating. It's creation through letting out. We'll have more videos in the future. Anyway, if you're new to this channel, or if for some reason this has been recommended in your video feed and you've watched this the entire fucking way, subscribe. Just do it or don't, but I would prefer if you did it. And like, let me know if you're a fan. Let me know if you're part of this with me. And let me know if you're gonna be on this journey with me. Whether you decide to work with me in the future, whether you decided to just be on this healing journey with yourself, whether you decide just to watch to see where I go, because I'm fucking reaching for the fucking moon. I know I probably swear too much, and I know I probably swear too much for the algorithm, but I get so excited by these videos, and maybe that's an old pattern to be honest. I get so excited that I just almost can't help myself from swearing. I know my mum sometimes watches these videos and she's like, Sharam, you swear too much. So if you're watching this video, hi mum. And I look forward to talking to you more in the future. I've been sick recently, so to be honest, I actually had the space to create this, but I want more. I want to create courses. I want to create online courses. I want to do speeches. I want to actually be a comedian at one point. I want to do comedy shows. I want to be in movies. Maybe a bit of a musician, but I'm surrendering all those blocks. Surrender the blocks to the thing you want to create. You can fucking create it, or you might realize you never wanted it all along. I'll talk to you soon. Stay amazing. Sharam.